Hello. Today I'm going to be showing you how we transliterate the Hebrew letters. It's quite a simple lesson really, but we need to be clear about what the transliterations look like, because sometimes when we come across transliterated Hebrew in commentaries and so on, it's going to be helpful to be comfortable with what the letters refer to. So if you'd like to get a pen and paper again, and you can copy down the transliteration letters as I show you them in this short video. Let's begin with the first four letters, Aleph, Beth, Gimel and Daleth. Aleph is transliterated with a soft breathing, which looks like a back to front C high in the air. Then we have Beth. With a dot, it's transliterated with the letter B. Without a dot, it's an aspirated B, so it has a line under it. Alternatively, you can put an H after it. Then Gimel, with a dot, it's a G, letter G. Without a dot, it's aspirated, and so has a line under it, or if you like, follow it with an H. That's Gimel. And the fourth of this group, Daleth, with a dot, you'll have got the idea by now. It's a letter D. Without a dot, it's a D with a line under it, aspirated, or instead of the line you can put an H. Our second group of letters are Hey, Waw, Zayin, Chet and Teth. Hey is transliterated with the letter H. Waw is transliterated with a W. You may sometimes find that it's transliterated with a V, and I'll explain why we're not using a V in these lessons in a later lesson. So W for Waw. Zayin is transliterated with a Z, depending on which version of the Z you like to write. Z for Zayin. Chet is also an H, but to distinguish it from Hey, it's an H with a dot underneath. Chet. Teth is a letter T, but because there's another letter that uses a T, this one has a dot underneath, and that's Teth. Our third group of letters are Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem and Nun. So Yod is that little one, and it's transliterated with a Y. You'll remember that I said that some names like Jeremiah begin with a Yod and they are transliterated with a J. We're not going to use a J in these lessons because it would just confuse matters. So for the purposes of these lessons, we'll transliterate Yod with a Y. Kaf, if it's a dot, it's going to be a K. If it's without a dot, as with previous dotted letters, it's going to be a K with a line under it, or followed by an H, and that's Kaf. The same is true for the end form of Kaf. If it has a dot, it's a K. If it doesn't, it's a K with a line under it, or followed by an H, and that's Kaf. Lamed is an L, a letter L. Mem is an M, and that's true if it's the N form as well. Mem. And Nun, whether it's that form or the N form, both are transliterated with the letter N. And that's Nun. Our fourth group of letters are Samech, Ayin, Pei, and Sade. So Samech is transliterated with an S. Ayin is transliterated with a rough breathing. That's a small letter C high in the air. You'll remember that the Aleph, the first letter, had a smooth breathing, which was a back to front C high in the air. And that's Ayin. Pei, if it has a dot, it's a letter P. Without a dot, it's a P with a line under it, or followed by an H. And the same is true for the end form of Pei. With a dot, it's a P. Without a dot, it's a P with a line, or with an H. And Sade is either an S with a dot under it, or TS. And the same is true for the N form of Sade. It's either an S or TS. And our final group of letters, Kof, Resh, Shin, and Tau. Kof is transliterated with a Q. Resh is transliterated with an R. Shin is transliterated either with an S with one of those on top, or an S followed by an H. Sin is an S, but in order to distinguish it from Samech, it's got a little accent on it like that. So that's Sin. And finally, Tau. If it has a dot in it, it's a letter T. You'll remember that Teth is a T with a dot under it, and that's to distinguish it from Tau, which is just a T. If Tau doesn't have a dot, it's a T with a line under it, or followed by an H. And that's Tau. So there you have it. That's the transliteration of Hebrew letters, which I hope you'll find useful. In our next lesson, we're going to be looking at the vowel signs that accompany the Hebrew letters. See you next time.